My dear, it wasn't the words you said, it was the silence you kept that made them fall. One glance, and their whole loyalty shifted without them even realizing. You touched their pain so gently, it bloomed into trust. They fell for you the second you didn't look away from their broken. A single smile from you ruined every wall they built. You didn't heal them. You saw them, and that was enough. In a room of noise, you noticed the storm behind their eyes. Your presence calmed a scream inside them they never admitted was there. You didn't fix their mess. You sat in it with grace. One laugh, and they forgot every reason to guard their heart. You answered the ache in their soul without needing words. They swore they'd never trust again until you listened without flinching. You didn't chase them. You stood still and they came undone. It wasn't love at first sight. It was love at first safety. Your silence said, "I know," louder than their cries ever could. You broke their curse with one act of unearned kindness. They loved you the moment you didn't need them to change. One sentence from you, and their lifetime of pretending collapsed. Your presence was the first place they ever exhaled. You didn't enter their life. You remembered them back to life. It wasn't how you touched them. It was how you saw them. They smiled again because you dared to stay through their shadow. A glance, a pause, and suddenly you were home to them. You walked in, and every unsaid prayer in their soul whispered, "Finally." You made them feel chosen in a world that kept overlooking. They didn't fall for your beauty. They fell for your timing. One tiny moment, and you shattered the loneliness they swore was permanent. It wasn't magic. It was memory. As if they'd known you forever. You said nothing, and still your energy screamed, "You are safe." They knew you were different when you didn't flinch at their chaos. Your gentleness melted a lifetime of armor. One laugh from you, and their pain forgot how to stay. You stayed when silence got loud. That's when they gave you their heart. You didn't impress them. You disarmed them. They don't remember the date. They remember the feeling. You entered their life like an echo of something sacred. You didn't love loudly. You loved exactly when they needed quiet. You met their fear with softness, not questions. You didn't offer love. You became their permission to hope. Their heart opened when you didn't ask for proof. You gave them safety disguised as a smile. You didn't fix their storm. You offered shelter. They didn't need you until you made needing feel okay again. A passing glance, a soft word, a heart reborn. Your honesty woke them from a numb they mistook for peace. You didn't rescue them. You reminded them they deserved to be rescued. One pause from you said, You matter, louder than 1,000 speeches. They didn't fall for the real you. They fell because you let them see it. You were gentle in a world that demanded survival. One moment. That's all it took to feel eternal. You didn't try to be their answer. You became their reminder. You didn't meet them with charm. You met them with soul. They gave you their heart when you didn't ask them to prove it. Your existence was the apology the world owed them. They never said it aloud, but that moment changed everything. You made love feel like breathing. One heartbeat chose you before their mind could explain why. You weren't loud, you were undeniable. They gave you everything because you asked for nothing. You arrived when their hope was flickering, and you became the flame. You didn't chase them, you remembered them. Their soul flinched, then melted. That was the moment. You weren't their type, you were their truth. One kind moment from you replaced a decade of pain. You touched their trauma and didn't run. That's when they loved you. It was never about romance, it was recognition. They knew your soul before they knew your name. Your silence was a sanctuary. They stopped searching the second you paused long enough to see them. You held their gaze like it carried secrets. The moment you understood their silence, they fell in love. You didn't take their heart, you earned its surrender. You didn't interrupt their pain, you stood beside it. One unexpected kindness rewrote their entire love story. You arrived like a whisper they'd been begging the sky to send. Their walls broke because your presence felt like truth. They didn't fall for you. They remembered they loved you. Your softness shattered their defenses like thunder. One sacred pause, and the universe rewrote their destiny around you. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. They gave you their heart because you never made them feel small. You healed them without knowing they were bleeding. One gaze from you made them believe in forever.